animals come out at night. Whores, skunk pussies, buggers, queens, fairies, dopers, junkies. Sick, venal. Someday a real rain will come and wash all this scum off the streets.
When I first heard that clip, it just gave me the chills, and then I knew that this movie was going to be nothing like what I expected. Taxi Driver, a 1976 film filmed by Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro, is about a 26-year-old taxi driver who has insomnia and cannot sleep. Now, this movie is a mind cluster, if you will. There's so many bizarre things in this movie, and it's just, I had to rewatch it again right after just to be like, did that actually happen? You know, with no spoilers. It's interesting to me because just the way it portrays the life of this lonely, sad individual named Travis, who's a taxi driver. It's just, it's really interesting to, the way that Martin Scorsese portrayed his like thoughts and like how he thought about New York City and how it's just all scum and how he just wants to get rid of it. And he doesn't really have like anything he likes to do besides writing in his journal, which is very interesting in how the movie goes on and on. It just seems about like his loneliness and like his mental state just keeps getting worse and worse because he can't sleep, which is a real thing. If you can't sleep, your mental state just goes out the window, and you can see it through this movie. And another thing that I love about this movie is the cinematography. Just all the shots, or like when he's driving at night, and the details of the taxi from clip to clip, or the lights reflecting on his eyes, and it makes him look all creepy. Or when he looks in the mirror, it's kind of glaring. You know, I just think that's so like, it's the little things for me that I look at, and it's just. I thought it was interesting how like Travis like picks up little things that people say, and then he all of a sudden it's like that's his, like with the Palatine, like the guy who's running for president. He doesn't know who this guy is. He doesn't pay attention to politics. But once he involves himself with Betsy, he's like, oh yeah, I tell everybody in my taxi to vote for Palatine, blah 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 blah. And it's just fake. He starts hanging up Palatine posters in his room and his stuff. Or with the guy talking about the 45 Magnum, when in the back of his car talking about killing his wife, he just goes out and buys a 44 Magnum. Not because he wanted it, just because that guy was talking about it, so he obviously wanted it. I think Travis's insomnia and his loneliness really, really, really affected his mental state. And you can see him just kind of getting more and more like, he's starting to be himself, but like he's actually like transforming into some other person that he doesn't even know. And I just think it's funny how towards the end of the movie, like when he kills these people or whatever, and then, see, that's the thing. I don't know if he died or whether he stayed alive. That's kind of something that Scorsese leaves to you. But part of me wants to think, well, if he died, he's just like the rest of the scum, everyone else who he hates in New York. But then another part is, well, if he lived, he's finally a hero. He's something. And then he's getting recognized by Betsy, who's like, I saw you in the newspaper, blah, blah, blah. But that could all be a figment of imagination, not real. Him going to heaven or hell. There's two. And it's left up for whatever you want to believe. So part of me wants to believe that he lived, just because I like Travis as a character. I think he's really interesting. But then the other parts, it'd be ironic if he died and he's just like the rest of them, like just like everybody else in New York, a criminal. In the movie, he doesn't really go into much detail about his honorable discharge from the military, but we do know that Travis was in the Marines. I think, yeah, Marines, and so we don't really know what happened, but he got discharged, so something had to happen where mental or something happened. But he also, they don't really talk about much, but he's on some medication, and you see him taking it a lot before like he goes and does things. Like when he's at the rally for the Palatine thing, he takes those and he's like smiling, or when he's in his car, he takes them, or whenever he's just walking the street, he also kind of has an alcohol problem where he's just drinking in a bag, which is illegal. He can't do that, but he definitely has some issues, and popping pills and drinking probably doesn't help his sleeping habits or loneliness. But that's what he's coping with, is alcohol and drugs. I also thought it was interesting that he'd always dress kind of like rugged or whatever, like in his jacket from the military. His hair's all messed up, but whenever he'd go and see Betsy, he'd always have his nice jacket on, his tie and stuff, his hair's all combed and stuff. He really wanted to he wants to impress this girl because he likes her. and then it all goes downhill after their movie date, which rightfully so. But I kind of felt bad for him that she left him like that, but he doesn't know what's right and wrong. I mean, he's trying his best right now. He's buying her stuff, taking her out to eat, taking her to a movie, but he should have known that taking a girl to a XXX rated movie was not the best choice. It's just, I felt bad for him at the same time. It's like, going to this movie, I didn't really know what to expect, but after watching it, this is easily one of my most, like, top 10, top 5. It's my favorite Martin Scorsese movie I've ever watched. Just the way there's so much detail into Travis's life and how he's slowly getting from, like, alright to worse to the blah, 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 blah. And, like, it's just the way that his character develops through the show is just so interesting to me, and just everything around him, how the New York setting is just like full of criminals and how he hates it and stuff like that, and then he ends up becoming a criminal at the end. He killed people. And if I had to rate this movie, I would give it a solid like 9.5, even 10 out of 10. I think this movie is so good. I didn't think there was anything really wrong with it. All the action scenes were good, the dialogue was good, the story progression was good. I just thought overall this was a great movie. I think if you haven't seen it, you should go see it. That being said, this is my movie review. I hope you guys liked it, and leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you later.